So I'm delighted this morning. I'm with Ivo and Miro Gospodinov. I'm not brilliant with surnames. Huge thanks for you joining me. I met Ivo and Miro at both my events and also at John Corrie's event, John Corrie Property Fortress. I heard Ivo and Miro present at a simple equity evening at John Corrie's meet. That was on rent to rent and service accommodation. So huge thanks for you joining me this morning. Tell me a little bit about yourselves, Ivo and Miro, and in relation to property and what strategy you've chosen.
Yeah, so you can start with starting the company.
Yeah, so we started the company about 1 year and 3 months ago, and we start with the rent-to-rent strategy. We went to a couple of courses, we gained a little bit of knowledge, so we were able to acquire 10 properties in a period of 6 months. And then we have a little bit of a shift, and we try a property on service accommodation strategy. That property was located in Canary Wharf, and we were blown away that, one bed property, it's making a more profit than 3 or 4 bed property on a rent to rent. So that was a pivot moment, and we really shifted the strategy into service accommodation. And after that, for the rest 8 months, we were able to acquire 22 service accommodations.
22. Wow. I was going to say, you mentioned about you've been on courses for rent to rent. Have you been on any courses for service accommodation as well?
Not really. We just
It has been mainly self-taught process, but we had some mentoring, and also we're looking at because we got some hospitality management background, and we've been learning from our network.
Sure. So, service accommodation is really the buzzwords at the moment in terms of property. I've got my own service accommodation panel in a few weeks' time as well. Well, a few days' time, in fact. My key questions going forward are: we were discussing software. What software do you use for your business? So we were discussing the channels and so forth.
I would say that we're using quite a few different softwares, but the one standing out the most is the channel manager software. If you have service accommodations, that's the one which is crucial, because we're listing our properties on 22 different platforms, and you need something which is holding the master calendar, and in real time on the different platforms, when people are booking in real time, straight away the calendar is being blocked. So that is avoiding double booking and a lot of hassle coming out from it.
Sure. So channel manager is really important. Do you use any CRM systems or accountancy systems or tenant management systems as well?
Yeah, in terms of CRM system for the marketing and sales, we're using Contractually.
You're using, which one?
Actually,
is the name of the software.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this is what we have started. Ivo has started using a couple of years ago. In terms of different softwares, we're using Xero for the accounting booking system, and also we're using some add-ons so we can forecast cash flow and stuff. So on a daily basis, which is add-on to Xero. And in terms of software, we've been using Arter, but it's not optimized. Arter property management. It's not optimized for service accommodation. So
not yet. But I know Arthur really well. So they are. That's definitely in the pipeline for early next year. So
we have spoken with the CEO of the company. So yeah, he provided us with the same information. So yeah. We're waiting for it.
But mainly we're customizing in Google Sheets our own
templates,
criteria for what is the most important that we need to have about our business, because the best thing to do is to customize instead of waiting for updates and stuff. So you are always going to be lagging behind. And Google Sheets has been very handy.
Yeah, I have to admit I don't know about Google Sheets at all, but I'm sure after discussing with you offline, I can find out a little bit more. Maybe it's quite well known what Google Sheets are.
I'm happy to share.
Yeah, that would be it. I've never heard of that, to be fair. In all the interviews I've done and all the meets I've done, going forward, it was fascinating to hear what you thought was going to be, one of the most beneficial investments you've made for less than £100. It wasn't what I was expecting. Do you want to share it with the listeners?
I would say that in each property, when we're dressing the property, the best investment below £100 is the Nutribullet. So it's a blender. Yes, as we spoke earlier, we're not trying just to sell a space to our guests in the service accommodations, but actually sell a lifestyle. So basically, the Nutribullet have given us a lot of positive reviews. Let's say when people are staying in the apartments, the reviews are all about the Nutribullet. Nutribullet made my stay. That was fantastic. I never expect to see Nutribullet here, etc. So I would say Nutribullet because it's below £100, and if it's something above £100, I would say it's the wireless TV and the Netflix. So that's how we're trying to stay better than the competitions. And yes.
Yeah, it's interesting you is talk about the corporate, well, you don't use the word corporate lifestyle, but the lifestyle as such. And where do you see yourself going forward in the next few years?
Yeah. So what we're planning to do is to acquire 300 properties, and this will be mainly direct to vendor, and we're gonna still perhaps keep some of the JVs that we're currently making with investors. But what we're doing is working directly with developers or landlords and offering our services on a fixed percentage.
And just to clarify, the 300 units are in the pipeline for the next 12 months. And if we're talking about the next 3 years, we're looking at 2,500 units we're going to be taken care of.
So we've looked at where you're looking to go forward. We've looked at the softwares you're using, the blender as well. So the other key question is, if you were starting off now, what would you do differently, if anything? Would you look at the same strategy you're using? I know you moved from rent to rent to service accommodation. Would you just go to service accommodation? Did you think rent to rent was a useful stepping stone to service accommodation?
Well, 100%, because we learn a lot by doing mistakes into a rent-to-rent strategy and learning from it and capitalizing on the knowledge we have acquired for the time being, and when we were focused on rent-to-rent, and that gives us a very, very strong foundations when we step into service accommodation. And I truly believe that you can start with any strategy as long as you're passionate about what you're doing and you're really consistent and eager and taking action. You can make it happen. If you just start with rent-to-rent or start in service accommodation, it's about the willingness to take action.
I would like to add over here, because it doesn't matter where you start, you need to be prepared that you're going to make lots of mistakes. Doesn't matter who is your mentor, doesn't matter how many courses you got, and you're never going to feel ready for that. So whichever strategy we choose, pretty much we're going to start from the same. We are willing to make as many as possible mistakes so we can optimize and improve the model that we're working at the moment, because there isn't like a formula for success. So even if you go back, start instead with service accommodation, I believe you will be making tens of more mistakes than with what we have done before. So there isn't like perhaps anything that we want to change.
I was going to say, I could go on and on about service accommodation because it's really huge, hot topic. I've got a panel coming up on that subject, but I'm definitely keen to hear more about your story and go through the nitty gritty. And there's lots of nitty gritty about how you assess your potential clients. One of the statistics I found interesting was, I think, Ivo, you mentioned that 60% of those who apply for short term don't make it through the door.
It is true, and I strongly believe that each business which is scalable need to have systems, processes, and procedures in place. And it's in a short period of time, which we have at the moment, it's difficult to go through everything, how we are running it and, how we're doing things. But I'm going to mention that, let's say that the online person, which is communicating and, selecting the inquiries, it has particular checklist and set of questions which is asking the potential guest, and based on the answers the guest is providing, then the decision is being made if it's yes or the person is being declined. So approximately 60% of the inquiries we are declining because we are really, really selective, and we want the best guest, and just want to make sure that there is no unexpected situations, because all of us have seen horror stories about Airbnb and Booking.com, etc. So this is one of the keys, that all of the platforms which we're using, we are in control on selecting who is the person that is getting into the place, rather than some other people in the industry. They got instant book on, and then everybody can book, and straight away that they haven't got control over who is getting into the particular property.
So I was going to say, what's the best way of getting in contact with you? Probably via your website, is that right?
Yeah, you can find us on the website. It's win-property.co.uk. You've got all the contact information there. Even that the website is still the same website as we have used it as a rent-to-rent and as a corporate. But yeah, I believe it's the best way to get hold of us, and yeah, more than happy to share our knowledge which we have acquired so far.
So let me just emphasize the domain of the website, winwin.co.uk.
So it's win-property.
property.co.uk. Ivo and Miro, Gospodinov, I just want to say a huge thanks for spending time this morning with me and sharing the words wisdom and making me laugh, to be fair, because you're the first person who's come up with the blender. But as you say, it's a lifestyle which people are looking for in short-term lets. So as I say, huge thanks for you joining me this morning, and I'm sure I'm going to catch up with you very, very soon.
James, I was looking forward.
Okay, thank you. Bye for the moment.